There's a buzz in India's financial streets, and it revolves around one man, the Governor of the Reserve Bank of India, Shaktikanta Das. His tenure as RBI chief ends next week, but the government has been silent about his future. Will they give him an extension, or will they replace him? And this buzz comes at a very important time. India's GDP numbers were published last week. They came as a massive disappointment. The RBI had predicted 7% growth. The actual number was 5.4%. Now, the wrong prediction is not the problem here. The problem is what happens next. Union ministers have been dropping hints for a while now. They want the RBI to cut interest rates. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal said so last month. Listen in.
I certainly believe they should cut interest rates. Growth needs a further impetus. We are the fastest growing economy in the world. We can do even better. And frankly, the largest component of inflation is food inflation.
And how would that help? Well, think of it as a chain reaction. Commercial banks get loans from the central bank. They get these loans at an interest. If that interest rate is cut, banks get cheaper loans. If banks get cheaper loans, they can transfer that benefit to us, meaning consumers will also get cheaper loans. And who doesn't like that? Your house loans, home loans could get cheaper, your car loans, maybe even your credit card spending. And this increased spending will boost India's economy. That's why ministers want a rate cut. But the RBI is not convinced yet. Why? Because of inflation. India's October inflation came in at 6.21%. That's a 14-month high. It's also way above the target of 4%. Which is why the RBI is wary. The central bank will be meeting from Wednesday to Friday. Most experts do not expect a rate cut. They say it's more likely by February 2025. So the pressure is certainly on Shaktikanta Das. Reports say he could still get an extension, but a few other candidates are also in the fray, like the chief economic advisor and the deputy governors of the RBI. If the extension does not come, it would raise questions because Das has had a long tenure, in fact, the longest in almost 7 decades. He was first appointed in 2018, he got a 3-year extension in 2021, and he was twice ranked the best central banker in the world by Global Finance magazine. He managed the inflation crisis well in the last few years, but food prices have been sticky. We've had extreme heat waves, unseasonal rains, flooding in different parts of India, and global supply chain disruptions. All of this has increased food prices in India. The RBI's job is to control that. But the government's job is to ensure growth. Sometimes these two goals can be contradictory, and that often leads to friction. Not just here in India. This is a tussle we see across the world. The difference is the context. Like I said, the GDP numbers have created a lot of buzz. Some analysts are revising their GDP predictions for India, plus Donald Trump is heading to the White House. His rhetoric is shaking up the economy. We told you about his comments on the US dollar. That has bolstered the American currency. At the same time, it has devastated the rupee. Earlier today, the Indian currency fell to an all-time low. $1 was trading at 84.76 rupees. It recovered later in the day, but challenging times lie ahead for the Indian economy. The RBI will have a role to play in that, whether it's defending the rupee's value, fighting inflation, or lowering the interest rates. Let's see if Shaktikanta Das will be around to navigate this tough period.